Hey everyone, so I'm on a roll. Usually I do like a video, we'll say like every couple of months apart. But I actually made a video yesterday and I actually was feeling good enough to make another video today. I'm always trying to be very self reflective and trying to understand myself as much as possible. Trying, again to just find the most authentic version of myself. A lot of that is due to my own anxiety and of course, most people know I have generalized anxiety disorder, but really trying to root the cause of those things and why I feel that way. Um, but anywho, so like I was saying, and of course, every now and then I lose train of thought. That's just me. It's part of my personality. I'm pretty good at being like, what was I saying? But anyways, so with the anxiety thing, I've been trying to really deeply evaluate what is it that makes me so anxious, or why do I have anxiety? And I understand some things have to do with past situations, traumatic events, and stuff that have happened to me. Some people are able to have traumatic events and kind of just move through things and be like, you know what, it happened, it's done, it's over. Me, I think like what I'm learning to gather from it is that I kind of internalize things where I feel like even if it was something maybe not my fault, then I still like internalize it like, oh, that person molested me, or oh, that person, sexually, did XYZ to me because I didn't say anything, or I didn't have the heart to speak. And it's such a weird thing. And I know that probably like doesn't make sense to some people, but I've actually experienced, and this is probably like another shameful thing for me to say, like feeling bad for people that have done stuff to me. Uh, like, and just not saying anything either like to anyone about it, or maybe, and it's going to sound weird that I've even talked to the people that have done stuff to me about what they've done to me, because like for me, I don't know why, but I needed to know like what was going on in that person's mind, or like why would they do that. It's not like everybody that's ever done something to me, unfortunately. I've had quite a few people do stuff that, shouldn't have happened. I actually lost my virginity when I was 15 to someone that was an adult, and I shouldn't have. And of course, it's part of that person's responsibility, but also mine, because I do feel like I was aware enough, like, at that age to be like, shouldn't happen. But most experiences that I've had involving like relationships or experiences with men have been um, unfortunately just like really horrifying. Or like when I look back, maybe that situation wasn't, like I said, like it wasn't necessarily like a bad, like the person I chose to lose my virginity to and stuff, of course. But like I look back and go, okay, that was not age appropriate. Or like when I self reflect and go, okay, why was it when I was younger that I was more or less, attracted to adult men or whatever. And, some people, of course, would be like, oh, well, she was a hoe, or she was fast, or like all these things. But when I look back from a very young age, I had people that I knew that maybe were watching me grow up or whatever, touching me in some way, like even from like the young age of 8 years old. Some people I've never even been like, oh, this person did something to me. Like there was just this thought, like I think one of the fear, the anxiety, what's gonna happen if I state, oh, such and such did this thing to me, you know. And I was just very conflict avoidant. Like I wasn't a confrontational child. Um, So I just swept a lot of things under the rug. Um, but what I realized, what some of that did to me, not even just, the sexual abuse, or like even just certain relationships of abandonment and stuff that I have, with, we'll go into like the abandonment topic, I guess, at another time. I'm not gonna discuss that, but uh, too much. But I'll just like touch bases, is like having abandonment issues because of not having even strong enough family relationships, or there's certain friendships I have that are really healthy, that are great. I can be very open, I can be very transparent. There's no anxiousness or anxiety there. These relationships developed over years and years, um, but anywho, like I said, is like me kind of rooting where that guilt and shame came from, is like being a timid kid, having things happen to me that shouldn't have happened to me. I definitely expressed myself in various ways that were unhealthy. As I got older, as I kept experiencing abuse, there's things that I've done that have been really, like, not the best choice or course of action that I've had to pay major consequences for. Um, I've also found myself, when I got older, doing things out of aggression that were not safe or healthy for other people. Um, and yeah, um, let's see. Let me see. Like, what's a good example? And some people don't think of this as bad, and I'm not saying that it's bad for you, and it may not be bad for, like, it's not bad for everybody. There are some people I know that do this, though, because of their traumas, their negative experiences, their personal issues. I know one of the things for me that I did when I was younger was I decided to strip. And when I did do this, excuse me, it was, excuse me again. When I did do this, it was because, one, I didn't feel good about myself. I had just come in out of an abusive relationship. The person that was abusing me, I just remember them saying stuff to me like that I was not a good person, that nobody would ever want me, no one would ever love me, that they were just sick, like, looking at me. And there was definitely physical abuse there. And also with them, with drug usage and stuff like that. And this person has apologized to me, like, later in life, which is great. uh there are still some things at times, though, that I think linger. uh but it's just, I'm always like a work in progress. I just, again, like, I am really, really easily affected. Like, if I'm being, like, completely honest with myself and with others, like, I get really easily affected by traumatic events, and it takes me so long to process. Some things I get over really easily. Some things I have to reevaluate, like, how the situation happened, why the situation happened. Again, sometimes I talk to people that did the thing to me to help me in my healing. Um, and I find, for me, sometimes that also helps them heal, sometimes, in some ways. And it doesn't mean they changed, like, significantly, or maybe they did. I don't know. But anywho, uh, again, I get lost in my thoughts because it's hard. Like, it's hard talking about all these things. Like, if I'm being honest, on camera, trying to share my emotions, my thoughts, I'm really here trying to work on myself. And deal with my issues. And for me, for some reason, it is helpful to make these videos. And again, I always say this, like, somebody else may experience some of those things that I've experienced and just don't know how to convey it. You know, like, I was talking to somebody earlier on the phone who had called me saying that they wanted to work on a project together, involving some stuff with mental health, and finding out some things about their background that I didn't even know or I wasn't even aware of. And we grew up together, of just having some similarities and understanding of one another. So it just, for me, when I had that conversation today, it was like, you know what, this is my sign from God, like, to keep going, you know, in that direction. Like, as hard as it is, to be vulnerable, to be emotional in front of people, you know, it's like I feel like I have to do it. I have to do it for myself. I have to do it for other people. I do hope to continue making more videos, and again, just being more consistent with it. And I hope, you know, again, like, anytime I make a video, that it helps somebody else to be like, hey, yes, I've also went through this, or hey, I'm trying to get through this. You know, and maybe I don't have an answer, but maybe you do. Like I said, I still struggle in certain things that people feel like I should just be over, or like I've explained something to people and they're like, well, why does that affect you so deeply? And I don't know, but it almost makes me feel guilty that that I don't just get over things the way that I don't know, like how some people do. And again, like, showing vulnerability enough to be like, you know, I am crying. You know, and I know some people don't feel good about crying on camera or showing other people. Me is an important part of the healing, and accepting that part about myself, that I am sensitive. And that's okay. And yeah, again, like, you know, I'm hoping that it inspires other people to do the same. And, you know, just try to find your most authentic version of yourself. And yeah, let's just kind of exchange energy with one another and shed some light with one another. And, or shed, yeah, you know, shed your light, share your light, you know, like. And I understand, like, is like, you know, we all have dark and light aspects of ourselves, right? And sometimes it's like really easy for anybody, not even just me, to feel shame in those darker parts of yourself and not really want to be expressive about it, because of fear of rejection, or, you know, people seeing your flaws. You know, like, because that's like one of the things, at least for me anyways, is like, I feel like when I'm like this, that I'm more likely to be abandoned, because I have been abandoned when I showed vulnerability. I have shown emotion, and my thoughts, my emotions, in certain relationships were pushed off to the side. So there's something I'm still learning to manage, something I'm still learning to deal with, and trying to trust whatever process it is, because I do want healthier, long-lasting relationships in the long run. I don't know exactly always how to obtain it, but at least, like, for me, it's doing this and putting myself, you know, like, out there in a sense of being like, hey, yeah, you know, I have some broken areas inside of me. And hopefully, regardless of, you know, that, people are some people, I know I'm not going to be for everybody. You know, some people are like, sensitivity, no, not my thing. Me, I'm sensitive. That's just how I am. That's how God created me. Sometimes I'm not that sensitive, though I can be kind of mean. But and again, safety mechanism, right? We all have them. But yeah, I don't know. Lots of emotions going all over the place in this video, and that is okay. That is why I did this today. And yeah. So if you guys have any comments, feel free to share, or even if you want to message me and maybe you do have some things that you know, are similar, or whatever, or maybe they're not similar. I'm definitely good for being an ear to listen, not judging, people about, their mental health or like fears or, like, I don't know. I don't know. But you get my drift. So like, yeah, feel free to contact me or whatever. Or again, you guys have some solutions. I'm all ears. Maybe you have some helpful advice for me. So, all right, you guys, have a good one.